Hey guys, this is Gary, and this is my 2013 Nissan GTR. Let's go check it out. Before I show you guys the inside, let's take a look at the trunk first. It's fairly wide and deep. I was surprised how much space there was back here. You may not be able to fit a large wheel or tire combination loading from the top, but you can fit 7 5-gallon bottles, as you can see here. The first thing you'll notice while trying to get into a GTR is the door handle. It's not like traditional door handles where they stick out. It's aerodynamic and runs along the lines of the body. The left side door handle is actually designed for your left hand, the right side for your right hand. You place your thumb right here and you push. The door handle will pop out and then you pull with your other fingers. One of the other reasons why I purchased the GTR is because of its back seat. It's only one of a few supercars that I can think of that even offers it. Let me show you guys how much room there is back there. Before I can get in the back seat, I gotta move the power seat forward. It's fully forward, so let me show you guys how much space there is back there. I'm not sure if you guys can see me back here, but my head is slightly hitting the glass window, and I have about 2 to 3 inches of space between my knees and the front seat. Spacing for the person sitting in the back seat will be dependent on the person sitting in the front seat. If they've got long legs, then good luck to the person sitting in the back seat. The GTR has received revisions through its time frame. From 2008 to 2011, they consider it as the CBA. From 2012 and up, it's considered the DBA. The 2017 GTR did receive aesthetic changes and a power increase, but it's still considered a DBA. There were also Nismo versions which were more track-oriented and would also fall under the DBA category. The letters CBA and DBA refers to Nissan's terminology for timing strategy for those specific years. This being a 2013, it's a DBA GTR. And it's got the 10-spoke wheels, and it's got the gunmetal color, which I believe match perfectly with the wheels. It's also got the revised front bumper with LED lights and a rear bumper and new diffuser. The interior is nicely laid out. I like how all the gauges are displayed on the multi-function display unit. You can also swap out gauges if you want. There's also other parameters such as G-forces, acceleration, and fuel mileage. Aftermarket gauges are no longer required, which is great. Now let's go out for a drive. Since the car's still idling, there's been complaints about chatter in the GTR. Whether it's coming from the dual clutch transmission or the clutch, there's chatter. I'm not sure if Porsche, Lamborghini, or Ferrari has it too, because I've never had the chance to be in one yet. But I've driven race cars with race clutches and driven cars with twin disc clutches, and they chatter a lot more than what I hear in the GTR. So what I'm thinking is that people are just expecting a more quieter, softer ride. If they're expecting that kind of a ride, they should be looking at something else other than a GTR. Maybe more like a Tesla, because there's no noise. The GTR can be subtle or turn into attack mode just by pressing the gas pedal down. The best part about it is there's no clutch pedal, which means anyone can pretty much drive this car. Don't get me wrong, you can manually shift the car by using the paddle shifters, but most of the time I'm not using them. The dual clutch transmission shifts smooth and fast. It's not violent, but very smooth. You don't realize how fast you're going until you look at the speedometer. And it's very stable at high speeds. The all-wheel drive provides great traction off the line, on a roll, or through corners. Coming from turbo Hondas, import 4-cylinder turbos, and Camaro LS1s, it is surreal. You start to get a sense how far technology has come with cars, because it's something you have to feel to totally understand. The steering is very responsive for such a large, heavy car, and it makes it feel agile, but you do start feeling the weight once you start pushing it. The suspension is stiff, and honestly, I don't feel much of a difference changing it to comfort mode. Maybe it's just a placebo effect. The brakes to me have been great for a street car. I haven't tracked the car yet, and I've heard that they don't do well at the track, and people have been changing them out because they do warp and crack. But as far as for the street, they work fine for me. The stock Dunlops do perform really well, but they're hard, noisy, and wear out really quick. Also, they're very expensive, so I replaced them with Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires, which are more comfortable and daily driver friendly. Performance-wise, there's not much of a difference. The first time I used launch control in this car was amazing. I set the launch control parameters, and when the car launched, my brain just got pushed to the back of my skull. It was an amazing feeling. I didn't realize a car could do that on the street. This car is heavy, as I mentioned before. I weighed it at 3,867 pounds with a full tank of gas. It does 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, and my best quarter mile time is a 10.9 at 126 miles per hour. As far as fuel mileage goes, I'm getting 16 miles per gallon, but I don't think people buy these cars for fuel mileage. Maintenance items can be purchased from your local auto parts store, which is really nice. You can do it yourself if you wanted to. The aftermarket is also really big for this car, so that's great too. So if you're looking at modifying your GTR, there's a large aftermarket support for it already, and a lot of vendors that can help you with that. Also, the GTR community is really helpful. There's an argument that the GTR is not a sports car or exotic car, and I agree because it says it right there in its name. GT for Grand Touring and R for Racer. So it's more of a Grand Tourer racer, but the thing is that it competes well above its class, competing with Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, Corvettes. So that's what's amazing about this platform. Oh, and all the while doing it with a backseat and trunk. Overall, I'm enjoying my GTR ownership. I've had a great time in this car, and I've shared the experience with other people. It allows you to focus on driving and removes all the other distractions involved. It can seat 4 people, is fairly quiet in the interior, has a large trunk, and I can drive it to the track on my street tires and drive it home without any worry. It's not just good at one thing, it's practical and meets my needs in a performance car. I hope you enjoyed my review of my 2013 Nissan GTR. Like and subscribe for future videos. I'll see you in the next one.